Now that 2023 is coming to a close finally, I kind of like to take this time to look back on the year as a whole, especially as far as my bag collecting goes. There's been some hits, there's been some big misses. So today we're gonna look at all 13 bags I purchased in 2023. It's a lot. But before we dive into all that, hey guys, my name's Caleb. I post luxury and lifestyle related content every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's something you're into. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Join the membership. We have an awesome engaged community, this safe space Discord, if you will. So all the options and prices are going to be listed under the join button. So today we're going to start at the beginning. I don't necessarily remember the exact timeline that I purchased all of these bags, and quite frankly, the majority is missing, so it's going to be a little interesting. But we're going to kick it off with one of my first purchases made in February, and which has coincidentally become one of probably my top 10 favorite bags. And that would be my vintage Dooney Bourke all-weather leather Large Essex in the color Bone. Rejoice, because I have finally filmed my Dooney Bourke all-weather leather care guide, which is going to go out this Saturday. It's going to give you the tips and tricks of proper cleaning, which I haven't seen much of when it comes to cleaning vintage Dooney, so make sure you mark your calendars. It's going to be a big deal. But guys, I love this bag. It is no secret. The last time I carried this, rewind, I have to purposely not look at this bag because I will switch into it and then never switch back out again. When I carried it earlier this year, I think I was in it for nearly a full month, and I typically change my bags probably every 4 days to maybe a week with SLGs, all that sort of stuff. But when I switched into this bag, I loved it so much, I didn't want to switch back out again. Like, it took like my shoulder hurting from, because this is a heavy boy, like this is a hefty bag, empty. Like once I get my stuff in, it's probably heavier than my Birkin, not gonna lie. But this bag, you guys, is phenomenal. The Dooney Bourke AWL color Bone is my favorite color when it comes to vintage Dooney Bourkes, minus like some greens, and okay, there's a few other colors that I really like, but Bone is my favorite. I would categorize this as one of my best purchases this year, and I don't even think I paid $100 for it. Like, this was a good buy. Now, the next few bags on this list aren't here anymore, RIP, I know, but they were all sold to purchase a very special bag that we'll be visiting here in just a minute. But first up, we have another Dooney Bourke Essex bag. I actually have two more on this list. So this was a bit of a misunderstanding. First of all, I thought that my large Essex was in fact a medium Essex. I know, humiliating, I got it wrong, my bad. So I purchased a second one in the color black. I liked having, you know, a couple of different colorways. I loved this bag so much, I was hoping lightning would strike twice. However, the second bag truly ended up being a size medium. Didn't fit what I needed it to. I think I cleaned it up, and then, like I said, it went in one of my live sales, which were a ton of fun. Probably one of the highlights for this year. If you were there for one of my live sales, like, they were amazing. The first one, I think we had like over 100 some people. So a ton of fun, a really good memory to look back on. I remember who bought this, but I hope you're still loving the medium Essex. It was a really cute bag, just wasn't gonna work for me. Next up on this list is another Essex bag, and in hindsight's 2020, they always say it, we always learn looking back at the past. I regret selling this one. I really do. So this was the Dooney Bourke Large Essex top handle flat bag, and you guys, it was phenomenal. It was like beautiful Dooney Bourke Kelly energy. I stupidly sold it. It was short-sighted of me. I know the person who bought it is probably loving it. I was just like in that like, oh my god, I gotta, you know, buy this special big price ticket bag. I just need to sell everything, and like I used it for like a week or two. I genuinely loved it, but I didn't actually get to like pair it with any outfits, do any photos for Instagram. I think I literally just carried it to work with like my boring work attire, so it didn't really get a moment in the sun like it deserved. If I found one in really good condition in the color Bone, yes, I'll probably end up buying it again, but I loved that bag. So that pretty much covers my eBay purchases for the majority of the year. I used to be a huge eBay shopper. For some reason this year, it didn't really do anything for me. Like, I bought a lot of Ben Amun jewelry. I finally found the last piece of Wedgwood Swallow that I need for my vase collection, but I really didn't go crazy on eBay. ShopGoodwill.com was where, that was like my Achilles heel at the start of this year. I was on the Birkin journey, I was trying to save up money, but I still needed like those cheap quick fixes. Bag collectors, you know what I'm talking about. So I was buying like these really, I mean, they were honestly really cool pieces from like Coach, Dooney Bourke, the Marc Jacobs moment. We're not even gonna call it an era. It was like literally 45 days of craziness. But the first bag from Shop Goodwill that I purchased was the mini field bag. Now this is in the original jacquard weave with the large Coach signature and then the gorgeous vermilion lining. Guys, this bag is stunning. The vachetta is all in wonderful condition. Beautiful nickel hardware, very classic early 2000s Coach goodness. If you can get your hands on a mini field bag from this era, you will not regret it. Like, this is like the perfect bag for bumming around in the city on the weekends. Super cute, and they even have these little holes for whimsical push pins, which I picked up at the new Coach boutique opening here in Chicago. I love this little bag, you guys. I think I spent like 31 bucks. It was a steal. Back to the Shop Goodwill stuff. Like, when I say I went crazy, you guys, the majority of my bags came from Shop Goodwill this year. This next one was the Dooney Bourke Lockhart, and I was lucky to find this bag in mint condition with the tag still attached. Guys, this bag was phenomenal. It's just like, once I got it, I was like, I could flip this and make a profit, and I really wouldn't miss it, and that's exactly what I did. All right, now this next piece was such a phenomenally lucky find. I was able to get my hands on some beautiful Coach exotic goodness. I got the 8389 clutch made in Italy in the beautiful, shiny, I think this is crocodile. I can never tell the difference between croc and alligator. I know I'm basic. I haven't had a chance yet to carry it out because it is very specific in color. Like, this is giving me more holiday energy, so maybe I'll take it to like a holiday dinner or a party. And I might eventually end up flipping this. I've tried selling this before on a live sale and it didn't get much interest, so I might just keep it. But I know this is a very sought after clutch by collectors, and I think this is number 2 of 100 is the one that I have. It's very rare, you guys, and it's mine. All right, next let's plow through a few more bags that I sadly had to sell. At one point I was like 100 bags maybe in my collection. I was like, that is just too much. I was overwhelmed. I think I sold like, what, 50 maybe? Like, I sold a good bunch of my bags. This next bag was one that I had always wanted, but once I got it, I was just like, okay, it is what it is. This is the Coach Straw Tabby Tote Bag. It's the size large. I carried this one day out in the city. We went thrifting, had an amazing lunch out, and it was a really nice, cute summer tote, but I don't know, I think at the end of the day, it just wasn't quite my vibe, and that C buckle was really heavy. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna put in the vlog sale, see how it does. I think I might have been able to flip it for a bit of a profit, so that ultimately went to one of the big bags we're gonna talk about in a moment. Okay, this is the last Coach bag of this list, and it was kind of a disappointment, not gonna lie. So this was the Coach Alley from the 65th Legacy Collection. Beautiful whiskey leather, a nice, thick, rich, vegetable-dyed vachetta. Stunning bag, however, it had verdigris, and it also had leather spew, so if you want more information on that, I'll link the video down below. But this bag took a lot of work. I never carried it out and then I sold it. So there's that. So then around the same time, I made a really good purchase, and this is a bag that I use quite often. Like, I'm surprised. Like, this is a cute little bag. I didn't think I'd get that much use out of it, but this is kind of my go-to whenever we go out to dinner or if we're heading into the city. If you've watched any of my vlogs recently, you've probably seen this quite a few times, but this is the Brandon Blackwood Jasmine in the black oil slick leather. It's safe to say this is probably one of my most go-to bags. It's cute, it's small, it's the right design without, you know, being too big, without costing too much. I think these are like $275 brand new. I'm kicking myself because I missed out on his Black Friday sale when the Python Jasmine went up for, I think it was like $250. Like, it was literally a steal. I would have bought it had I known that it was on sale, but lo and behold, with my luck, I missed out. But I'm glad that I have the black one. This goes with everything, the perfect night out bag. I love the gold hardware. It's kind of giving like Kelly meets Fendi Peekaboo, but for like a fraction of the cost, which is amazing. We love that around here. If you can get your hands on a Jasmine when he re-releases them, do it. You will not regret it. So to kind of round out my Shop Goodwill experience, if you will, we would be remiss to not touch on the Marc Jacobs. Wasn't an era, it wasn't a moment, it was a debacle, more or less. The hiccup, we'll call it a Marc Jacobs hiccup. This all started with a TikTok I saw in the Marc Jacobs multi-pocket hobo, and then of course getting scammed on Poshmark. And if you want to get caught up on that, like, that's a fun video to watch. A lot of tea, and I have the receipts, so check it out. But I ended up buying the Venetia, the large Venetia, which, as we all know, is a ripoff of the LV Manhattan GM. I liked it. I don't know, it just wasn't really for me, I think. And because of the buckles on the front, it would kind of make the bag fall forward, which I'm a perfectionist, so it would drive me crazy. I think I lay it down on its back when I was storing it in my bag closet. So it was a whole thing. It's off to a new home, and I hope you're still loving it if you're watching this. Definitely a dud for me. Now, the bigger Marc Jacobs dud. Oh boy, if you were here for the re-release of the Marc Jacobs stam, I was with Jamie at Luxe Petite, my husband. We were at the Neiman Marcus here in town, and in a beautiful showcase, there was the stam reissue, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I loved that bag back then. I never really considered it as a bag for me because I was still in like my big tote messenger bag. Oh, I'm a man afraid of carrying bags era. So I didn't buy it then. So then I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to spend $1,000 on a Marc Jacobs bag. I'll find one pre-owned before the prices skyrocket. The pictures didn't really do the bag justice. It was the grossest shade of brown. I don't know. It wasn't a vibe. I hope whoever purchased it's loving it, or maybe they were able to flip it and pass it on, but oh boy, that was a doozy. So something that I learned in 2023 looking back is don't buy the cheap little bags that are kind of an in-the-moment thrill. Be very precise with what you spend your money on and how you plan your bag collection. And don't buy filler bags. What do I mean by filler bags? Love that about you, stay curious. But like if you want a Birkin, don't buy a Birkin-esque bag. Just save for the Birkin if you can. I've wasted so much money over the years like trying to buy Birkin-esque or Kelly-esque bags. Ultimately, I just needed to save and be patient and work hard and get the Birkin and the Kelly. This is one of those bags though, that once I stopped doing all these cheap little piddly eBay or ShopGoodwill bag shoppings, I was able to get this one and it was money well spent. This is my Hermes Vespa. This is in gorgeous buffalo leather in the color Havana, palladium hardware, and this is literally just like the perfect all the time bag. I think ever since I bought this, this has probably been my most used go-to bag. I'll use this for weeks on end. I use this on weekends. Perfect in the fall, especially with these colors. They look great with like a nice cream sweater or like a brown sweater. I know, groundbreaking, whatever. But this, guys, this is just the perfect example of just like saving up, waiting, and buying what you truly want, and don't buy, you know, little things along the way, I guess. So that brings us to the final item. If you've been watching any videos on my channel this year, you're gonna know what it is. You're all probably sick of hearing about it, but I spent way too much money to not talk about it. If you've guessed the Birkin, you are correct. So this has been my holy grail dream bag ever since I was in high school. I have always wanted a Birkin, and now that I have it, this is easily one of my top 3 bags. Anytime I have like a weekend where I'm doing something that could facilitate carrying the Birkin. This was a culmination of years of hard work, saving, planning, and it really paid off, you guys. This is a beautiful Birkin from 2001. Back when they were still doing, you know, bench-made bags by one artisan start to finish. I nailed it with this one. Box calf leather, Vert Foncé, palladium hardware, size 35. What more can you say about the world's most perfect Birkin? 2023 was a really busy year for me. It started out, I wouldn't say strong, but it started out busy. I bought a lot on eBay and ShopGoodwill, even though I shouldn't have. At the end, like it really came full circle. I picked up my holy grail dream bag, the first Birkin of my collection, keyword first. I got my Vespa, and right now, like what does that leave for the rest of the year? I know December is not quite done yet. I am adamantly searching for a Ralph Lauren Ricky. I want brown with the old style hardware, purple interior, full set with a dust bag and strap. So far it's not working out for me. I don't even know if this combo exists at this point. I think moving forward, 2024, which, I mean, obviously we'll do my 2024 wish list once January hits, and then of course the bag collection videos in March. But 2024, I think I'm gonna pull back even a little bit more. Maybe only buy like 2 or 3 big ticket bags that I've really been wanting for a long time, and then kind of enjoy spending my money in other sectors, maybe more jewelry or more fashion or more travel. Like, Lord knows I need a trip. But anyway, 2023 in a nutshell was a pretty decent year, so I'm pretty happy. I hope you all had a great 2023 as well. Let me know in the comments, like, what was your favorite bag you bought this year? What was a dud that you bought this year? I think it'd be a fun conversation to have. Anyway, guys, until next time, stay safe, have fun. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.